Welcome back. Today is Veterans Day. I have the day off work, so I've been out here working on this all day. So big thanks to all the veterans who serve. Both of my grandpas served in Korea, and have some great stories, and it's just very cool that they could do that, so that I can be hanging out here in my garage in relative comfort. Um, so this morning I came out here and welded in um, a thick patch here, because this was like 2 layers thick of sheet metal pressed together. So I had to patch that because it had a big rust hole, and put in a patch here. Um, Still got to figure out what I'm going to do with this section, but I also welded in a bigger plate along this edge. This will get covered up with another piece of sheet metal inside, and then a skin over the top. So that doesn't have to look good, luckily. And then this area had just all sorts of rusty cancer holes. So I put in a pretty big plate up here, and then some sheet metal in this section, which was a little more difficult because there's these holes that hold the subframe on. There will be bolts that go through there, and had to kind of clearance this a little bit to make sure I've got room for those bolts. So hopefully it all fits. It ain't pretty, but I think it'll do the job. So with the remainder of the day, I am just working on patching up a few other things on here. I'll probably start working on this floor pan when I get time, and then I also have another patch to put into this spot here. I already made a little template for it, so I'm going to go cut that out. All right, we'll give this one a try. First one I made was a little bit too small. I hadn't really accounted for all of the folds and everything, so let's see how that fits in there. I think that's going to be a little bit better. I'm definitely going to have to trim it down a little bit, but that's totally fine. So, yeah, I think I'll just kind of start trimming away at it with the flap disc, and try and get that dialed in and start adding some of the curvature into it. Okay, so this shape is turning out to be really complex to get right. So I think I am just going to tack the bottom edge on here with a couple of welds, and then that way I can just kind of hammer it into place. I know this isn't the best way to do it, but I'm just not skilled enough at metal shaping to do it off of the car. Looks like I need to take just a teeny little bit more off there. Okay. So now that I've got that tacked on, I can start kind of metal forming this a little bit more. It's so bright out that it's kind of freaking out my welding helmet. Need to turn the sensitivity down just a little bit. Okay, so I think now that I've got enough weld on there, I can probably start trying to form it back into here a little bit more. Now, I mean, once again, this is going to be hidden, so I'm not worrying too much about perfection on this. Okay, now I should be able to bring this up now. All right, that should be good enough for me. So I'm just gonna finish welding this up and get out the grinder. Okay, so I got that welded in there. I think it ought to do the trick. It's nothing special, but once again, it's not going to be seen. So I'll just take a grinder to it and clean it up a little bit, and then put some primer, like some rust resistant primer on there to keep it from rusting over, and should be good to go. And then my buddy Caleb is going to come over and start working in this panel. Um, he's a lot better metal worker and body worker than I am, so he'll be over here tonight, and we'll keep you updated.